about to be a banger, boys. This is about to be a banger. Did the Justice League survive Galactus?
I was once little like you, billions of years ago. A man from another world before this relentless, eternal hunger.
If the Fantastic Four could survive Galactus, it would just make sense that the Justice League could. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Could the Justice League survive Galactus? I mean, Galactus is so broken. And I'm pretty sure even Stan Lee stated himself that Galactus was the most powerful character in the Marvel universe. You know, obviously besides the one above all, but Galactus has been alive since before the Big Bang in the Marvel universe, and there's only one of him, I guess, which makes him even that much more ancient and broken. Right? Because like a lot of almost every single Marvel character has variants. Galactus only has one. There's only one Galactus. I feel like that puts it into perspective. Bro, been around for a long time. Like, I'm sure there's nothing he can't go up against, you know what I mean? Yo, let's check her out, boys. Another Nerd Science banger renew. Let's get it.
The sky over the Pacific tears open and the color drains out of the air. Not clouds, not a storm. Blue goes gray, then white, then nothing. Something taller than a skyscraper steps through, and it walks straight past the moon without a glance, because dead rock isn't food. It only eats living worlds. Earth is a living world. So how does a team of humans and aliens survive something that treats a planet as a meal? And what does walking away actually cost them? Here's the thing I want you staying for. Nobody in this video outpunches this. The only question is whether any...
I'm about to say too, yeah, there's no way Superman... I mean, Superman is... We've discussed this plenty of times before. Superman's the contingency plan, right? Superman alone is not beating Galactus. I'd like to see Superman try.
Anyone on a team is smart enough to make it leave. Every league member gets rated F to S on how they hold up. This is Mike. We're back for another awesome video for Nerd Science. Leave your like, subscribe, and let's roll it. Let's find out who cracks first. Act 1, Planetfall and the First Wave. The wormhole doesn't open quietly, it rips, and Galactus steps through, dragon tattoo behind him, a starship the size of a solar system, built as a headstone for a world that died before...
Wait, a ship the size of a solar system? What?
This universe started. And quick thing about what you're actually looking at, because it matters twice before this is over. The giant purple man in the helmet is a lie. Not his, yours. Galactus sits so far outside human scale that a human brain can't render him. So it hands you the closest shape it can survive looking at. A scroll sees a scroll. Squirrel Girl's book went ahead and confirmed squirrels see a giant squirrel. And I think about that more than I should. You're seeing...
Wait, what? Oh, hold on. What? I want to see this. I want to hear this again.
Is a lie. Not his, yours. Galactus sits so far outside human scale that a human brain can't render him. So it hands you the closest shape it can survive looking at. A scroll sees a scroll. Squirrel Girl's book went ahead and confirmed squirrels see a giant squirrel. And I think about that more than I should. You're seeing a man because a man is all your mind can draw. Hold on to that. Ahead of him rides the Herald, Silver Surfer, scouting on a wave of cosmic radiation that turns the upper atmosphere.
Can I just say too, the female Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four was pretty cool.
Into a light show visible from 3 continents. The air ionizes on contact. Birds drop out of the sky over Los Angeles. Every satellite in low orbit goes dark for 4 seconds, then flickers back, confused. He finds the planet, he signals, then he stops, hovering over the Pacific and doesn't move again. And the League has no idea idea what that stillness means yet. Batman does. He already has a folder open on the Watchtower terminal before the first tremor hits Gotham's seismographs. 6 years of star charts and new Genesis intelligence filed under a name nobody else would recognize. This isn't a surprise to him. It's a checkbox he hoped he'd never need. And the hardware for it's been sitting in a shielded bay upstairs for 4 of those 6 years, powered down. Hal Jordan doesn't wait for a plan. He never does. He throws a construct the size of a battleship, a fist of pure will, straight at Galactus's chest. On paper, this should scale, because a Green Lantern construct is only as big as the willpower behind it, and Hal's willpower is the thing legends get written about. On paper, Galactus doesn't look down. He backhands Hal through the construct, through the atmosphere, and through a mountain range. On paper, Galactus doesn't look down. He backhands Hal through the construct, through the atmosphere, and through a mountain range in Nevada, leaving a canyon where a ridge used to be. Hal Jordan, tier F. Not because he's weak, because the scale problem just got established for everyone watching, including the rest of the league. Aquaman moves next, rallying Atlantean tech against the tidal pull Ta-2 is already dragging across Earth's oceans. It works. For about 4 minutes, water stabilizes, waves flatten, then the pull climbs past anything Atlantis can counter. The sea heaves along the equator, and coastal cities from Jakarta to Miami start taking water. Aquaman, tier D. He bought time nobody needed yet. Cyborg tries something smarter, hacking Ta-2's energy signature, hunting a backdoor into its defense grid. His system connects for less than a second before it fries. Boards smoking, power cords spiking red. He survives, barely, but every system he runs needs a full reboot. Cyborg, tier F. And that's the
Bro, everybody is getting just dropped left and right. F. What are your predictions for Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman? Now, of course, they're probably going to get either D's or B's, right? Not that they'll beat Galactus. It's that they'll survive at least, maybe.
moment, Batman clocks the truth. Nothing on Earth was built for this scale. Not hacking, not weapons. Down in Metropolis, a kid tugs his mom's sleeve, pointing at a sky gone the color of a bruise. He asks if Superman's gonna stop it. She doesn't answer because she's staring at the same sky. And for the first time in her life, she isn't sure the answer is yes. Then the real threat lands, and it isn't a punch, it's a machine. Raises the elemental converter out of the ambient dust and soot in the air, assembles it out of nothing in seconds, and drives it into the seafloor like a spike into fruit. This is the part people get wrong about him, and I need you to actually sit with it because the whole video turns on this. He does not chew planets. He never did. The converter breaks the living world down into raw energy and feeds it to him until there's nothing left but a husk. Wonder Woman's already doing the obvious math on the comm. Hit the machine, and she's right that it's the obvious move, and she's wrong that it works, because Galactus doesn't need the converter at all. It's a convenience. He built that one out of dirt, and if you break it, he'll build the next one before the pieces land. The readouts start dropping the second it's in. Nobody's touched him, and the League finally understands what they're standing in. Not a fight, an extinction countdown that started when that spike went into the crust. Act 2, the heavy hitters fall back. Diana doesn't throw a punch first. She throws the lasso, gold rope wrapping around a wrist the size of a city bus, plants her feet, and demands he leave. And the lasso is the right instinct because it doesn't just bind, it compels honesty. And it's pulled the truth out of gods before, so Galactus answers honestly. Earth is a meal. Nothing personal. He'd rather have taken an empty world. He's meant that before in his own books, and it's never once stopped him. But the hunger doesn't take preferences as payment. He means it the way a wildfire means the forest. No hate in it at all. That's the problem. The lasso can't make him stop, because he isn't lying. He's telling her something she doesn't want to hear. She swings the sword and he skates it off without opening a thing, and he shakes her off into the upper atmosphere. Tier B, and every point of it is for the intel, not the damage, because she cracked open the question the whole league's about to run into. How do you argue with something that's telling you the truth? John tries a different angle. He reaches into Galactus's mind instead of his fists, hunting for intent, for a weakness buried in thought instead of flesh. And John is arguably the strongest telepath on the roster. If any read lands, it's his. It doesn't. What he touches isn't a mind like a person's. It's scale, endless, cold. A consciousness built around hunger the way a star is built around fusion, and it nearly erases him on contact. He pulls out with his thoughts scattered and a nosebleed running green down his face, shaking. Tier C. Because he survives, barely, and what he drags back matters more than any hit landed. Galactus isn't cruel. He's a force of nature that happens to think. Remember that one. It's about to become the entire plan. Barry goes next, and here's where I need you to slow down with me. He runs Galactus at relativistic speed and vibrates, trying to phase through the body the way he phases through everything else. Find the molecular seam, disrupt it, drop him. Except the shape he's phasing at isn't the thing. Remember the man shape being a lie? Barry is vibrating against a translation his own brain's generating. The armor's real. That part exists no matter who's looking. So he ricochets off the plate and finds nothing but perception in the gaps. He lands a few real hits, fast enough that the image ripples like water, which is more than anyone else has managed. Then a hand the size of a building catches him mid-stride and swats him into a collapsing tower in Manila. Tier B. The Speed Force knits him back together almost as fast as the impact breaks him, but he's done. Then Clark steps in, and this is the one everyone clicked for. Solar-charged haymakers, heat vision at full output, the kind of hit that's cracked continents. Galactus takes it like weather. Clark goes for the helmet because it's the one seam on the whole silhouette, and that's the single worst target on the field. That helmet isn't armor, it's a restraint. He forged it to hold his own power down. Crack it and you don't hurt him, you take off the lid. Galactus lets him hit it twice, then backhands him.
Okay, yes. I knew Galactus was broken, but I didn't know he was that busted. Man, he created a body just to contain his power. God damn.
Clean through the mesosphere into low orbit, a contrail of fire behind him. Tier B, pure grit, but it proves the thing nobody wanted proven. Superman scales with the yellow sun, and there's a ceiling on that, and the ceiling is star. The power cosmic doesn't have a ceiling, and I know exactly what this is starting to feel like. 4 heroes, everybody swings, everybody eats a backhand. The numbers only move one direction. It feels like the video where the answer's just, no, they all die. Stay with me though, because the repetition is the point, and it's about to break. Every failure so far taught the same lesson. Force is a dead end. And there's exactly one person on this team who was never gonna try force. Back at the Watchtower, Bruce isn't watching the fight. He's mining it. Alfred asks, steady, whether he's found what he's looking for. Bruce says one word, nullifier. And Alfred, who's been in this room before, points out the obvious. Bruce has held the ultimate nullifier once on a beach on Monster Island in a contest neither of them talks about. Diana took it out of the air when it got knocked loose, so get it again. Except the nullifier lives on Ta too. It only ever left because a watcher broke his own oath to hand it over, and it goes back to Galactus no matter who's holding it. No watchers coming. That door is shut. Bruce closes the file. Down in the Pacific, the converter bites deeper. Fractures spread across the seafloor, grids fail across 3 continents, and the clock that read hours now reads minutes. Act 3. The contingency and the bargain. Here's what Bruce builds the plan on, and it isn't a weapon, it's a habit. Galactus' own. Every world he's ever taken, a herald scouted first, and the herald was always hunting the same thing: living energy, the richest source for the least effort. That's why the surfer is still hovering out there, motionless, doing nothing. His job was already done the second he found us. Galactus doesn't chase the biggest target, he chases the best value one. That isn't a moral choice, it's the math of a starving thing. And math you can read, you can answer. So the plan isn't a bomb, and it isn't a trap. It's a scouting report. Bruce trades Metron for it, and Metron only deals in one currency, which is knowledge. So Bruce pays in Justice League contingency files and doesn't flinch doing it. What he buys back is coordinates, real ones.
Nigga just traded contingency files to... Who is this? Let me know down in the comments below. Who is this, or what is this? Because isn't that like the God chair or something that Batman eventually ended up sitting on?
A system fat with living energy, in order of magnitude, past what Earth has left after 4 minutes of converter, and nobody home to notice. Not a lie, a better meal that actually exists. The hardware's been in a shielded bay for 4 years, a broadcast rig built off new Genesis fragments, designed to push a signal that reads, on a cosmic scale, the way a Herald's report reads. Bruce doesn't build it under a countdown, he arms it. That's the difference between the man who plans and everybody else on this station. Delivery is the problem. This isn't something you send by radio. It has to land inside Galactus's actual awareness, which means bandwidth to carry it and a mind steady enough to aim it. Cyborg's still rebooting, but he's got enough left to compress the signal. John has to carry it back into the same scale of mind that nearly erased him, except now he has to hold the door open instead of knocking. Green's still crusted dry on his face. Nobody on that comm pretends this isn't a real risk. Diana goes back in, sword up, dragging his focus down. Clark goes high, forcing him to split attention 2 ways instead of scanning the field. Barry runs the rig into position at a speed that blurs, even to something that processes time differently than anything alive here. Nobody's trying to win anymore. Everyone's buying John 4 seconds. He gets him. The report lands. Galactus stops. It isn't defeat, and it's nothing close to pain. It's recalculation, a system updating on better information.
See, and again, they're just gonna send him away. Like, that's the only thing they could do. So, I mean, I guess Galactus is the most broken character, low-key.
Your source, uninhabited, cheaper than finishing what's in front of him. His hunger doesn't hoard, it gets satisfied. And a satisfied Galactus has no reason to come back to a smaller world he's already been talked out of. His hand, still raised over the Pacific, closes on nothing. The converter goes dark and dissolves back into the dust he pulled it from. Ta-2 folds space shut behind him, and the sky snaps back to blue like someone let go of a held breath. And that, I love this beat, I really do, is the only way this was ever gonna go. Nobody in his own stories beats Galactus with a punch either. Reed Richards held up a weapon he was never gonna fire. The surfer just pointed him somewhere else. He gets negotiated with. Diana, Clark, Barry, John, all of them combined didn't outfight a cosmic entity, because nobody outfights a cosmic entity. Bruce found the one thing worth more than every punch thrown that day. He knew how the thing eats. Not strength, leverage. The cost shows up fast. The rig fuses into slag on the send. Metron has the League's contingency files now and will use them eventually, the way he uses everything. And somewhere out past the rim, a system nobody named is about to go quiet, because Bruce Wayne pointed at it. He knows exactly what he did. He's not gonna say it out loud. Final tears.
That man's about to feel real bad sending Galactus over there.
Bruce gets an S because the win condition only existed because he built it 4 years early. John earns an A for carrying a link that could have erased him twice. Diana, Clark, and Barry share a solid B. Not for damage, but for the 4 seconds.
Before the 4 seconds.
The sky's clear, but the Precipk floor is still steaming where the cracks haven't sealed. Bruce stands over a burned-out rig that will never work twice, holding a printout of coordinates he's already decided to shred, and nobody in that room's gonna call this the kind of victory they thought victory would feel like. They didn't survive because they were strong. They survived because one of them bothered to learn how the monster eats, and then handed it something else to eat. Drop your own survival tier picks in the comments. Want the next impossible matchup broken down like this? Subscribe and hit the bell.
Not gonna lie, Batman definitely gets an A. And Martian Manhunter, I would say, gets an A as well, because yeah, the fact that he was even able to go into Galactus's mind and see whatever he saw and almost died from it, like, he definitely deserves an A. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Should we do this? Could Wakanda survive a Resident Evil outbreak? If you guys want to see that, let me know. Another nerd science bangerino though. Otherwise, I mean, Galactus is definitely, y'all know I love the broken characters, so Galactus is definitely one of my favorite characters of all time, for sure. Just for the fact that his scale, it's incomprehensible, right, to a human. I love it like that. Like, I love all the unknown shit, you know, like the you can't see, you don't want to see, like all that stuff. I love that. Justice League got cooked otherwise. I mean, there's nothing they could do about it.